Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, Property Wealth Decoded. Interest rates are on the rise and a potential recession could be on the horizon in the US. Now that we're coming off a really strong HDB market, what should your next move be? I'm Harvey, a seasoned realtor, analyst and consultant who has spent the last 16 years studying the Singapore property market. Last December, I predicted that the HDB markets will remain strong in the first half of 2022. Today, we will see how accurate it is based on data and what the road ahead looks like for buyers and sellers. Well, I had predicted that the HDB markets would remain strong. And the reality is that the momentum did remain strong and volumes remain almost identical. In the period of January to June, there were close to 13,000 units that were transacted. And for the same period last year, it was almost identical with barely 500 units difference. Now, why is that so? I guess with home ownership with priority set towards space and value PSF would continue to support the narrative of buyers seeking a more conservative home budget when it comes to buying a home. Now, valuations have gone up, but sellers' askings have gone up as well. Because as you know, with the momentum of the market being strong, generally sellers will be more bullish towards their asking prices, which also means that more often than not, you might have to pay a cash over valuation. So currently, we do see a discrepancy between the expectation of a buyer and a seller. Now, if you're wearing the hat of a seller in today's market, well, if you want to move your unit, if you want to ride with this market right now, if you price closely to the market and it's not a king's ransom, you will probably be able to ride through the market and sell your unit. All you need to do is kind of have to monitor your asking prices compared to your neighbors and see if you're priced correctly. As for buyers, there are quite a number of open data places where you could find prices. For example, if you go to the HDB website, you could probably be able to find some of the prices that have been transacted within that estate. So that should kind of help you shorten your process of trying to identify the right units to buy. Because more often than not, the price setting of that unit was an ongoing discussion between the owner and the agent. So therefore, I believe that the asking prices and what is to be transacted is probably going to be relatively close. Okay, my next prediction is that there's going to be growing popularity in prime location older flats, which is currently already seen in the market. Now, for higher quantum flats in the central, prices are continuing to escalate as well. Because if you were to be a buyer that's looking for a unit in the private segment today, you might feel a little bit left wanting and your budget seems to be a little bit smaller. I think there's going to be a lot of recalibration towards what kind of products that these buyers are going to buy, and they're going to go towards the HDB segment if they have a time duration of 5 years where they feel that all I need to do is buy something bigger, just enjoy it for the next 5 years and monitor the market, continue to build my savings before I go towards buying that condo that they've always wanted. But it's kind of like a delayed gratification. Another trend that I think is going to happen is that there's going to be a rising demand for the smaller 3-room flats in prime location. Why so? I think if we were to watch a lot of videos today, and I'm going to give a shout out to Stack Homes, who has been showing a lot of nice places around the HDB estates. I think there are a lot of singles and there are a lot of dinkies who are looking to buy a 3-room flat, gut it out and make it their dream home for at least the next 5 to 7 years. And in another regard, with the older folks kind of selling out what they already have as a bigger condo or landed homes, they may well choose to find something that's really small and just downsize and keep cash with the mindset of perhaps using that money to kind of assist their kids towards fulfilling their dreams of buying a property. So in that regard, I also do feel that this segment will see a lot more interest in the coming 6 months. And one more prediction I'm going to make. I think the market is going to be a tale of, that's going to be pulled to two ends. It's either a tapering off or a higher demand. Now, I feel that prices should still continue to remain strong though there is a tinge of street vibe that inquiries have been tapering off from my colleagues in the industry. I think that volume-wise will truly depend on price expectations, and if sellers are pricing it according to the market and still making a good profit, and with more buyers willing to go into the market to match that deal, I do believe that volumes will continue to remain strong, and I think sellers will continue to ride on and sell out of the market. And one more thing that has been dominating the headlines, I think the trends for $1 million flats are going to increase. Thus far this year, there's been 166 units that have hit the $1 million mark, and they range between bigger, older units all the way to younger leaseholds, but smaller units that are in the central location or all around Singapore. I think one of that reason is because the price reality has set in. Buyers are no longer going to be worried or even scared to approach a listing that's going to be asking for $1 million and above. I think this is well within their expectations or within their budget to continue to look at this segment. If I may say candidly, recently one of my clients had asked me, there's this Marine Parade flat that traded for $1 million and above, and she said that she couldn't fathom the idea of why anyone would pay $1 million for a really old flat. My reply was pretty candid. I said, all you need is one buyer, because this buyer may have bought this flat for a particular reason. If I may say from my experience, if you were to buy a private property around that area that's surrounding that Marine Parade flat, you would realize that for a condo that has 3 bedrooms, it would easily be more expensive than $2.5 million if you wanted something that's relatively decent. Now, $1 million, just think about it. If I pay $1 million for this flat, and if, let's say, I want to be there because of school purposes, then maybe the next 5 to 7 years will be a period whereby it fulfills my current needs. My wants is to invest, but my needs have to be addressed first. So therefore, they may take a view of using this unit for the next 5 to 7 years, of which later on, once the MOP is served, they could then choose 2 things. Either set roots there, or B is sell out the unit, even if it was for the very same price. It would probably be a good decision that will enable them to satisfy their needs for the time being. So value proposition perhaps takes a secondary position in this decision. I hope that the above points will set your mind thinking, and I hope and believe that what I said above will show up in the market. So by using these points that I've talked earlier, and if you still do not know exactly how that information may help you to dovetail or even narrow your search towards either of the segments, be it HDB or condo, feel free to drop your comments below or drop your questions below so that I can address them in a PM or DM to you, or even if it's worth that effort, to do a video that will benefit everyone else. Thank you.